oh my gosh, you're a medium? Can you read my mind right now? Or can you see my grandma right now? Do you just walk around 24/7 talking to ghosts? Well, no, and no. Or people will say, mediumship, talking to ghosts, that's like a party trick. Also, no, I've never gone to a party and been like, step right up, everybody. Watch this. That isn't even close to what mediumship truly is. Welcome to Connected in the Den. I'm your host, Christiane, also known as the Wandering Lioness, a psychic medium, energy healer, and spiritual coach on a mission of creating a virtual lion's den, a safe space in this corner of the cosmos where we can dive deep into witchy, spiritual, empowering chats that support us in reconnecting with our natural, magical ways of being. Here we are all about decolonizing our minds to elevate our collective consciousness. It is my intention for you to feel seen, supported, and totally inspired to unleash your own magical essence in the world. Whether you're a seasoned spiritual seeker or just dipping your toes into the mystical waters, you are in the right place, my friend. Grab your favorite brew, get comfy, and let's explore this wild journey together in our cosmic pride. I hope you feel connected in the den. Okay, so look, we cannot be classy all of the time. It's exhausting. In this episode of Connected in the Den, we do have some adult language. So if you have little ones around, you might want to grab your headphones. Hey, beautiful souls. Today we are diving into one of my favorite topics, ghosts, mediumship, and clearing up some of the most common misconceptions about what it is, what it isn't, and everything in between. I really do believe that mediumship is a skill that we are all gifted with as spirit beings in human bodies, but not everyone is naturally tuned in, or some might not want to tune in at all. Some maybe do want to learn, but are a little scared. So let's debunk some myths today, okay? Maybe shedding some light on some of the misconceptions will encourage some of y'all to explore your skills, maybe. So I feel like when people hear the word medium, their minds go straight to like crystal balls and spooky seances. Scenes from Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg, that pottery scene, you know the one I'm talking about. But mediumship is so much more than Hollywood's version of talking to the dead. I mean, it is really not about rattling chains or predicting lottery numbers. Mediumship is a sacred healing connection. I mean, that's where the word medium comes in, kind of like a translator between, in the middle of worlds, right? Like in between the physical and spiritual. I do consider mediumship an art form. And like any beautiful art, it's often misunderstood. So I want to break it down with a little love today. I've got 10 misconceptions. A handful of them are from some of you beautiful listeners who submitted. I asked on my TikTok what some common myths that some of y'all have heard, and I thought like we'd unpack it together today. And hopefully by the end, I hope that you'll see mediumship in a whole new, more elevated light. So let's kick it off with the misconception that mediums can read minds. People think mediums know every thought or detail about someone's life. So let's dive right into this big nugget. So yeah, no, we don't read your minds, and thank God for that. I don't really want to know people's inner thoughts. Mediumship and mind reading are two completely different things. Mediumship is about connecting with spirit and higher dimensional beings, those who are beyond the veil. Okay? So we mediums serve as a bridge to bringing through those energies to the physical with love and through validation and healing from the other side. It's not about knowing what you as a living person is thinking right now. I had someone say to me once something along the lines of them finding it difficult to be my friend because they believed I was reading their mind. I remember thinking, like, what the actual fuck? Like, I was pretty hurt by this conversation, honestly. I mean, the fact that they would even think that I would intentionally invade their privacy like that was, I think, what hurt the most. But it was more their approach in trying to understand my abilities, you know, like they had said something along the lines of like, there are times when this person would be zoned out. Let's say I'm going to use a fake name. So they would say, Samantha, I would say to them, Samantha, are you okay? What's on your mind? As if like I would notice that they're zoned out and assumed that like they assumed that I knew what was on their mind, I guess. And I just explained that I can sense the energy shift in the room. I can sense if someone's feeling off or if they're feeling distracted, but I'm not like, oh, let me read Samantha's mind and see what's up, you know? So that was a tough conversation for me to have, and we aren't friends anymore. Mind reading, or the ability to sense what someone is thinking, is it falls more under the umbrella. It's a broader psychic umbrella, telepathy, because it involves reading or transmitting energy at a mental or emotional level. Telepathy involves the ability to mentally send or receive thoughts, feelings, or impressions without verbal communication or physical cues. So essentially, it's like an energetic exchange between two minds. It's the blending of consciousness, a mind-to-mind connection. P.S. Check out the Telepathy Tapes podcast. It is so good. Speaks on a lot of things that I've been speaking about over the last few years. So mediumship, on the other hand, has a completely different focus. It is not about you and your thoughts at all. It's about who's on the other side wanting to connect with you. When a medium tunes in, while yes, we blend energies with the person sitting in front of us, we are opening our energy to spirit. And in fact, the best mediumship readings happen when we don't know much. Like, I prefer not to know anything about the person that I'm reading, and I'll often open up a reading like, why are we connecting today? What was the pull that you felt to connect with me in a session, without giving me too much information, is what I'll always say. Because it allows spirit to do the talking, right? So no, mediums are not walking mind readers lurking around in the corners of your brain. But what we are is something, I think, more beautiful. We're heart chakra readers, it feels like, for me. We connect to the energy of love, the bond between you and your loved ones in spirit, and we bring through messages that heal, uplift, and remind you that you're never alone, and that the soul never dies. The soul is eternal. Mediumship isn't invasive. It's intimate in the best way possible. It's not about knowing your private thoughts. It's about helping you reconnect with the love and guidance that is always around you. Okay, so that's myth number 1. Myth number 2 comes from a question from the TikTok poll from Caitlin, and they ask, are you able to talk to spirit all day? Do you just see spirits everywhere you go? So this misconception that mediums are always, quote unquote, turned on. I feel like this is a classic misconception that mediums are just like 24/7 Wi-Fi hotspots for the spirit world. Like, truth? Absolutely not. Do you know how exhausting that would be? Let me set the record straight. Mediums are not always on. Mediumship is a skill, okay, that we consciously choose to engage in. Mediums, like everybody else, need boundaries. And most of us have learned to switch our connection on and off intentionally. For me, it's literally like turning on my inner radio and then tuning in to a specific radio station. It takes focus, it takes intention, and it takes energy to dial in and connect with spirit. And it's not something that happens automatically every second of the day. Boundaries are essential for maintaining balance, protecting energy, and just having a normal life, right? Just like you wouldn't leave your door open in your house, and just let everybody walk on in. Mediums don't and shouldn't be leaving their spiritual connection wide open either. Honestly, being quote unquote off helps me be even more present and effective when it is time to be turned on. You feel me? So that's myth number 2. Myth number 3. This I think is a good one. And this comes from Maya. I love the spelling of this, by the way. Mayaah. Gorgeous. Maya asks, does mediumship involve spooky, evil encounters or dark forces? Does mediumship involve spooky, evil encounters or dark forces? So the myth being that spirit communication is scary or like what you would see in a horror movie. So this is another classic misconception. Hollywood loves to show mediums like surrounded by flickering lights and eerie whispers and things flying off the shelves. Like that makes great entertainment, but it's not how real mediumship works. And I'm not saying that stuff doesn't happen, but communicating with spirit is such a deeply loving, peaceful process. It's not a ghost hunting adventure with these creepy shadows lurking in the corners. Like, yes, strange, unsettling experiences can happen. They have happened to me, but they're rare. And that's where intention and energetic protection comes in. And I will say, I've never had an experience like that happen in a reading. Any type of strange paranormal, for me, it's exciting. I actually enjoy it. Experience that I've had has been with my own personal practices, my own personal connections, right? So as mediums, we set very clear boundaries before every session. I intentionally create a sacred space where only love and the most elevated frequencies are allowed to enter. I ask for protection with my space and within the space of my client. It's not about being at the mercy of random spirits. It's about inviting in the ones who bring messages of healing and connection. So it's less paranormal activity and more like a heartfelt phone call. Like it's more about, I like to say it's like a coffee date, like we're meeting up in a spiritual coffee shop and just like kikiing and shooting the shit together. You know what I mean? But with love and intention. And when it is done with care and intention and love, mediumship is nothing short of a sacred act of service. To me, I am in service to the spirit realm. You feel me? So I hope we cleared that up. Misconception number 4 is that mediums know everything about the afterlife. So let's clear up this idea that mediums are walking encyclopedias of the afterlife and just ready to answer everyone's like cosmic question. Okay. Because this is a really popular misconception that mediums have all the answers about what happens after death. And in truth, it's not like we have backstage passes to every mystery of what happens after we die, right? I'm not sitting down for coffee with spirit and getting a detailed PowerPoint of the entire structure of the afterlife. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But what I do know comes from what spirit shares during readings. So I do get these glimpses, and I am constantly learning. But to be honest, spirit does not always give us the full picture. I feel like there's information about the afterlife that I truly don't feel that us humans, like our human minds, could fully comprehend and understand. You know what I mean? Mediumship is about connection. It's not this cosmic omniscience. Spirit often communicates in ways that are symbolic, and tailored to what will help you heal or grow in the moment. So it's like getting postcards or like little love notes from the other side rather than a full-blown travel guide. You feel me? The afterlife is vast. Like, it's huge and it is mysterious. And I feel like there's something about that mystery that we should be honoring. It's very human of us to always want to know the answers, to always have things figured out. You know, I will always do my best to answer what I can, but I am always learning and always developing. Like I said, mediumship to me is an art. And as an artist in other mediums, in other paths, it's a constant development. It's a constant practice, right? So I don't always have the answers. Mediums aren't here to know it all. We're here to remind you that love transcends everything and that your loved ones are still, in fact, connected to you, even in ways we might not fully understand. And for me, that's just beautiful in its own right. The next misconception, we're on number 5. And this comes in from a TikTok question, Anita. Thank you for submitting your question, Anita. They ask, is the medium not very good if they don't give me very clear and specific information? What if they didn't give me any names? This is an interesting myth that every mediumship reading is like a perfectly scripted, like a perfect script, you know, with names, dates, GPS coordinates. If only it was that simple. And yes, some readings, the information really does come in super clear and very detailed. And I actually love when I get clear names or clear birth dates or the dates of the passing or specific cities even or street names. But the reality is that spirit communication can be subtle and symbolic. So spirits don't hand us flashcards. You know what I'm saying? They share impressions, feelings, and images that us mediums have to interpret, and the sitter has to interpret as well. It can be very common that certain spirits that come through, you have no clue who they actually are. You might not have had a personal relationship or connection with them, but I trust whoever comes through in a reading, right? I like to say that it's like playing a game of charades or like piecing together a puzzle rather than reading a fully written book. You know what I mean? It's the beauty of this process, I find, is in the collaboration. A good reading is a dance between the medium, spirit, and the person receiving the message. Like I said, sometimes the details are crystal clear, and other times they're more like breadcrumbs that lead to a much greater understanding. And that's okay. Spirit always communicates, always, with love and intention. The goal is not perfection, it's connection. The magic truly lies more in the meaning that you find, even if it takes a little patience to uncover it. And that is the beautiful part, truly, that spirit doesn't just drop messages into your lap. I love spirit breadcrumbs. Like, I love that spirit leaves breadcrumbs for you to follow, for you to uncover. It's part of the spiritual development experience. Spirit knows that we're all on our unique spiritual journey, each of us, right? And sometimes the most powerful messages are the ones that really invite us to reflect and explore and uncover deeper truths for ourselves. They're not just handing out answers. They are our guides. They guide us to a path of growth and healing and self-discovery. So that's why a message might not make perfect sense in the moment. And I always say this to my clients. In all my readings, I offer a recording so that you can sit down and re-listen to it over and over again, because especially in the moment, it's a lot sometimes to have that connection to spirit and to hear all of these things. And it can be sort of like, holy shit, like as if you're saying this right now, like, and I'm an evidential medium, so I would pull through evidence that only you and spirit know. So to have someone saying things, you know what I mean? That you're like, how did you know that? It can be a lot. Not to mention, it is also a very, like, a tangible, like you're feeling spirit. You are feeling your loved ones there. A good medium will have you very connected, like very aware of the essence of the spirit, the spirit that they're communicating and connecting with. You will feel that energy. So yeah, it's very common that the message won't make perfect sense in the moment, but later there are these light bulb moments that shift your perspective or opens a door that you didn't even know that you needed. You get what I'm saying? It's happened to me when I've been read by other mediums. I have had insights make sense years later where I'm like, oh my gosh, they said this in a reading. I remember when they said this, this makes so much sense. I fully understand why, like where I'm at now. You know what I mean? This path makes sense. It's so crazy. Spirit always works with your highest good in mind and with divine timing to help you evolve in ways that are as profound as they are personal. My intention every time in a reading is to receive the information that so-and-so is meant to receive today for the greater good and to the harm of none. That I always set that intention. I have kind of like a lengthy type of prayer, I guess you could say, intention, something that I say to spirit every time I do a reading. And it is always in the highest good of the client, what they are meant to receive today, like in the moment. So if your medium is not giving you specific and clear information, that can be okay. You just want to make sure that they're bringing forward evidence of your loved ones in spirit. You don't want general information. You want there to be specific evidential information that really validates, yes, okay, they've got my grandma. Yes, they have my uncle. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel that you have a strong connection to the spirit realm and wondered how you can deepen that bond? Do you desire to trust your inner connection and learn how to interpret the spiritual messages that you're already receiving? This is your chance to uncover the guidance within and embrace your connection to spirit. Join me live for my upcoming workshop, An Introduction to Personal Mediumship, Awakening the Connection. In this workshop, you will understand the nature of the spirit world and spirit communication, learn techniques to enhance personal intuition and spiritual connection, build confidence in recognizing and interpreting signs, symbols, and messages from the spirit realm, and most importantly, feel empowered to embrace your spiritual path. This workshop takes place live online January 25th, 2025. But if you're not able to join us live, there will be a recorded workshop available. Secure your spot today or learn more through thewanderinglioness.com. Okay, so now we are into misconception number 6. This is a goodie. This is one that actually really irks me when I come across it floating around on socials, that mediums are chosen ones. Yeah, that it cringe. I've even heard, like I said, other mediums say this, that they were chosen to have these gifts. People think mediums were born with a mystical golden ticket to the spirit world. But the truth is, while some people might naturally have a stronger connection or sensitivity to spirit, mediumship is an ability that anyone can develop. It is not about being chosen. It is about choosing to nurture the connection. Think of it like learning to play an instrument. Anyone can pick up a saxophone or sit down on a piano and give it a go. Some might have natural talent. Some might not, but with dedication and practice, anyone can create something beautiful. And this has really become one of my passions over the last year. I think because I was seeing so much of this that I was like, no, like I'm not special. I'm not, we're all special. We're all chosen ones. We all have the ability to sense spirit in some beautiful way because we're all inherently connected to the energy of the universe. Mediumship is less about a gift and it's more about a willingness to open your heart, quiet your mind, and tune in. It's a skill. I'm very passionate about trying to teach this. It is a skill that grows with practice. You have to be dedicated. There has to be intention and there has to be trust. So there's no need to wait for the universe or God to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, Becky, you're a medium. You know what I mean? Like, if you feel called to explore mediumship, that call is your invitation. If you have experienced things from the spirit realm, that is a call. That is an invitation. The magic is already within you. You just have to tune in. Mediumship is not a superpower that is reserved for a select few. It's an intimate ability rooted in the universal connection that we all share. Just like we're all capable of love. We're all capable of our intuition. We all have intuition. We are all capable of being creative. We are also all capable of tuning in to the spirit world. It is not about being gifted. It's more about being open and intentional and being willing to practice. Developing mediumship is literally like strengthening a muscle. It starts with learning to quiet the mind, learning to trust your intuition, and to notice the very subtle, because it's very subtle, the way spirit communicates. Like I mentioned, through feelings, symbols, impressions, even the signs that happen in your daily life. Meditation, grounding, and setting the intention to connect are foundational practices. Over time, with patience and dedication, you'll begin to notice that the connection grows stronger and clearer. It will continue to develop, however much energy you want to put into it. The key is to honor your unique path because every person's path is different. Some people may naturally feel more sensitive or connected. Others may take longer to develop their confidence because confidence plays a role, right, in connection, and that's okay. There's no one-size-fits-all approach to mediumship. The journey is very personal, and at its heart, it is about love, trust, and curiosity. So whether you're seeking to connect with your own loved ones or explore your own spiritual potential, the door is open to everyone. You just have to take that first step through. Okay, so this is a good one. That mediums can call up any spirit at will. This is a good one. I really want to tackle this idea that us mediums have like a cosmic Rolodex and like a phone book, and we could just dial up any spirit at any time. Like, oh, you want to talk to Great Aunt Edna? All right, let me just ring her up real quick. It doesn't actually work that way. Spirit communication isn't about commanding spirits, demanding them to show up. It's about creating a safe space all around for whoever's sitting for the reading, for the spirit to blend, to dance together. It's an invitation and trusting who chooses to come through. This is my personal opinion, but I feel that spirit decides when and how they connect. And us mediums are simply the bridge for that communication to happen. This is my personal view in mediumship, but I believe spirit operates on its own wisdom and timing. Okay? Sometimes the person you hope to hear from shows up loud and clear, ready to communicate. Let's go. And then other times, another spirit, maybe someone you didn't expect, steps forward because they have something important to share. I also feel that spirit will use a sitter as a messenger sometimes as well. Sometimes messages come through to be delivered for someone else in your family. This happens often. It could be because whoever the message is meant for, maybe they're more skeptic and they're not the type of person to sit down in a reading. But let's say the cousin is, right? So spirit's going to be like, all right, well, cousin Janice is sitting down with a medium. I need to connect to cousin Brian. So I'm going to connect in this reading through Janice to pass this message along to Brian. Do you understand? Is that making sense? Honestly, all of your loved ones in spirit, even if you didn't know them personally, they all work together beyond the veil. I really feel like it's like a spiritual council that exists there, all guided by love and a higher intelligence, a higher spiritual perspective that knows what you truly need in the moment. As mediums, we don't control the conversation. I will definitely do my best to pull forward your Aunt Edna. You know what I mean? I'll definitely do my best to pull forward who you want to connect with. There are times when I'm like, yes, I've got Uncle Bob here, but your grandma is really coming forward with this, like with the strongest energy. So I want to give her the floor. I really trust spirit. I really honor that connection. And that's just the way I practice, right? I really believe like it's like your loved ones are waiting to make a solid connection. And then suddenly it's like, hey, I've got a signal from a medium. So think of it like all your people are like, my turn, my turn, my turn to connect, right? They all want to deliver that message. So I fully trust spirit. I'm a vessel for them. I'm an instrument of God. I hold space for communication to unravel and unfold with intention and with trust. And for me, if I'm being real, that just makes the connection that much more sacred and meaningful. And that's why I enjoy it so much. So there you go. Next, we've got misconception. Oh my gosh, where are we? I think number 8. Misconception number 8. That mediumship is fake. Mediumship is fake or a parlor trick. This myth is annoying to me, honestly. It's an age-old claim that mediumship is nothing but smoke and mirrors and lucky guesses. And I do think that this myth has... I said that funny. I do think that this myth has developed because of hardcore skeptics and scammer mediums and psychics, because they are out there. Like any industry or community, there's going to be people with ill intentions wanting to scam people out of money and take advantage of people when they're struggling with their grief or heartbreak. Like there are some not so great people out there, right? But authentic mediumship is absolutely not a parlor trick. It is absolutely not a party trick. It is a deeply sacred practice that is, again, rooted in love, healing, and connection. There have been frauds all throughout history, and Hollywood doesn't help, you know. But genuine mediums, we approach our work with integrity and with a lot of care. It's a lot of responsibility. I remember talking with my grandmother. I do come from a lineage of psychics and seers, tuned in psychics and seers and mediums, people who did this on the daily, like for the community, you know what I mean, as part of their work. So I remember when I was first talking to my grandmother, she was like, this isn't a joke. This isn't just, if you're going to develop this skill, this is a lifestyle. This is a responsibility. And to be honest, when she first told me that, I didn't really realize the gravity of it all. Now I'm about 4 years into professional mediumship. And it's a lot. It really is a lot of responsibility. And it is also a deep honor. It's something I really value and hold really deeply in my heart, that I have been so dedicated to this art, to this practice, you know? I am an ethically trained medium. Like, I also even struggle with this natural born medium, because I feel like we're all naturally born, but I was very naturally dialed into spirit from a very young age. But I did develop my skills very mindfully, very intentionally. I love to learn. So I'm constantly developing, but I have studied under some truly incredible mediumship mentors, Tony Stockwell, Medium Floor, Pat Longo, and Suzanne Giesman. They have been some truly amazing teachers on my path. And so the evidence often speaks for itself. Okay, like, to prove that it's not a trick. The evidence speaks for itself through details, through emotions and validations that no amount of guesswork could ever deliver. I am an evidential medium. I will give you information that only you and your loved ones in spirit would know or ever be able to confirm. Mediumship is not about proving spirit exists. Spirit does not need to prove itself, but it is about providing comfort and healing and closure. It's about empowerment, truly. It's about the moments when a sitter hears something so specific and personal that it shifts their grief into hope. That's, again, and nothing. I love when I see and feel that click in my sitter, when they can feel my uncle's here, my aunt's here, my mom's here. Like, mediumship is one of my favorite parts of my spiritual skills to offer. Next to energy healing, I do kind of loop this into the same category, but it's such a loving experience. It's incredible. And it's not, you can't fake the feeling of being seen and loved and held by spirit. That's something you can't fake. That kind of magic is impossible to manufacture. So at its core, mediumship is not about performance. And this is also part of why I'm not a platform medium. That's not for me and my path right now. For me, I prefer the more intimate spaces, and I just really do love being in service. So yeah, mediumship, she ain't fake. There are fakers out there, but the skill as a whole, it is true, baby. It is true. Okay, so then we've got myth number 9, that mediumship is the same as psychic work. So this I wanted to touch on because it's a little layered. And mediumship is not another name for psychic work. They're separate from each other, but they can go hand in hand. So both involve tuning into energy, but they are quite different in their focus and purpose. So psychic work is about reading the energy of the living. Okay. So it's picking up on someone's emotions, tapping into their past or future, or sensing the energy of a situation, of an experience. So if I'm offering a psychic reading, I may work with your guides, with your loved ones, and they may present me with information for life guidance. But at the same time, I'm tuning into your energy, your life energy, to offer insights on your relationships, career, health, travel, or to guide you through decisions that you might be facing. So it's more about reading the present moment as along with the past and tapping into the potentials of the future, and then using intuitive impressions to help gain clarity. Where mediumship, on the other hand, is about connecting with those who have crossed over. It's a communication channel between the physical and the spiritual realm. So rather than focusing on the energy of the physical, mediumship connects with the loved ones in spirit, guides, and other entities who are not in a physical form. Okay. The messages are meant to, they center on healing, on closure, on connection, and they provide comfort to the living from those who have crossed over. Mediumship allows us to receive information that can validate a spirit's existence through specific memories or relay messages that can help the sitter find peace and clarity after loss. The key difference is that psychic work is rooted in the here and now, while mediumship bridges the gap between the living and the deceased. Psychic work helps navigate life's current landscape, while mediumship, it's that bridge. It's the bridge to the physical world and the spiritual one. When both are developed, though, they complement each other really beautifully. Both are very powerful tools, but they do serve different purposes. Okay, so now we've got our final misconception for this episode, and I was very excited to receive this one. Colin, thank you so much for sending this in. Colin sent me a message. They asked about who exactly I communicate with. So the message reads, "Hey, Christiane, I just followed you recently. I love your videos, and I have to ask, have you communicated with energies that were not human?" So thank you, Colin. So I know what they're getting at here, because spirits aren't human, right? They were at one time. I do. This is like, this could be a whole nother episode on its own. Okay, let me break this down in a more simpler way. So have I communicated with non-human entities and beings? I actually have, Colin. There is a misconception that mediumship is only based on connecting with deceased loved ones, and some mediums might choose to only focus on that. That's totally okay. Or some may be open to much more. Okay. Mediumship is not just about, for me, it's not just about chatting with spirits who've crossed over. Connecting with loved ones in spirit is like the core part of mediumship for me. But I believe the scope goes far beyond that. We connect to higher consciousness. Point, period, blank. Okay. Mediums can tune into spirit guides, beings who, so they could have been your loved ones, but they also could be beings that you were not related to in this life. They could be beings from past lives. They could be beings you have no clue who they are. And for those who are open to it, they can even be beings from other dimensions and extraterrestrial realms. Mediumship to me is about connecting to this huge web of energy and intelligence that surrounds us. It's not just the people we've loved and lost. I think of mediumship as a spectrum of connection. Okay? Loved ones in spirit might bring through messages of comfort and healing, but guides often offer wisdom and insight to help you navigate your spiritual path. Higher consciousness and cosmic energies, I feel that they expand the conversation to include themes of universal truth, of our purpose in this life, the purpose of existence, our place in the greater cosmos. I believe that there's more to just this earthly experience and this earthly existence. Some of the coolest personal experiences that I've had have been connecting and communicating with this one species of extraterrestrials. I don't know what their species is. At this point, I don't care to dig too deep and find that answer, to be honest. I know whoever, whatever I was connecting with, these were multiple sessions, okay, that happened to me between 2022, I believe, and 2024. They were not human beings. These were not human entities. I do feel like they know me personally somehow. We communicated telepathically, and each time was them transmitting, like it was literally like a transmission, telepathic transmission, and it was guidance for my own spiritual path and life path, and guidance for the spiritual community that I have been holding space for and mindfully developing. Those were very incredible experiences for me. I do really look forward to connecting with them again in the future. I trust every time that they come forward. I can easily tell when they are coming forward. It is a very different feeling and experience than a spirit communication. And I have been able to see them in my mind's eye. It's pretty insane. It's incredible. Mediumship really is ultimately just about creating a bridge to whatever source of love, guidance, and understanding that you are ready to receive. It's not limited to one type of connection, I don't feel. It is as infinite as the universe itself. It's magical, truly. It really is. Okay, so let's bring this all home. Here's the deal. The whole spiritual connection thing is not reserved for an elite group of mystical unicorns. We're all mystical unicorns. This is for everyone. Yes, you. If you have ever felt, I'm telling you, even a teeny tiny nudge to explore your gifts, that is your soul. I literally, it is your soul whispering, hey, we've got some cool stuff to uncover here. Do not let myths and stereotypes or self-doubt block your path. You are way more intuitive than you think. You are way more psychic than you think. It just takes some practice and to honor that curiosity and that willingness to trust yourself. I'm telling you, my friends, this is about tapping into something that already exists. It's already within you. You're not chasing something outside of yourself. And let's be real, the world is a lot right now. There is a lot of chaos. There is a lot of division and endless like doom scrolling, and it can be very overwhelming. But people like you, the ones who are tuning into this episode, the ones who feel called to connect, to heal, and to love on a higher level are exactly what this planet needs. Exactly what the future of humanity needs. When you step into your gifts, no matter how big or small, you are helping to elevate the collective energy. That's huge. That's huge. It's not just woo-woo talk. It's real, tangible change. Whether you are channeling messages or moving energy or just being the calm presence in the storm, you are doing the work that helps heal and elevate the world. One intentional moment at a time, like no pressure or anything, but yeah, you, my friend, are kind of a big deal. When we hold loving intentions, when we align ourselves with the energy of healing and compassion, we become part of the solution to the challenges that our planet faces and the universe, the cosmos. By stepping into your gifts, you are playing a vital role in elevating collective consciousness. It's a contribution to the greater good. So if you are feeling that pull to dive deeper, lean into it, my friend. Lean into it. Start small. Meditate, journal, take a class, whatever feels right for you. You don't have to have all of the answers or a 5-year plan started. Just take it one step at a time, and the path will reveal itself. I promise you that. Spirit knows when you're developing, and they will support that development. The work you do within yourself ripples outward, and it inspires and uplifts others. You don't have to have it all figured out. Just take the first step and let the rest unfold in divine timing. You are not imagining this call. It's real. It's important. And hey, if the world feels heavy sometimes, know this: the work you do to develop your gifts is not just for you. It's for the people you touch. It's for the spaces you shift and the love that you bring into this wild but beautiful planet. So keep going, baby, because we're all better because of it. You made it through. How freaking awesome are you? Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you felt the vibes today. And if you did, please share this episode with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. I would love to hear from you. Share your thoughts, insights, or any questions that you have by sending me a DM or leaving a review. Your feedback will only help us expand this cosmic pride and help us reach more fabulous listeners like you, baby. Connect with us on social media at The Wandering Lioness for more witchy wisdom and insights. Until next time, please keep shining your magical light. Be curious, be inspired, and be blessed. I'll see you soon on Connected in the Den.